It's 10 p.m. in Banjul. This is the news and first the headlines. President His Excellency Adama Barrow outlines economic growth and energy among his government's key priority areas. Deputies endorse a $30 million loan agreement between the government of the Gambia and the International Development Association. Rwandan authorities design new measures to make the viewing of the endangered mountain gorilla an exclusive experience for visitors. And young people in Nigeria demand constitutional reforms to enable young people vie for the highest political office in the West African state. Well, these and other stories come ahead in this half hour. I am Modi Jai. President His Excellency Adama Barrow has singled out the economy and the provision of reliable and uninterrupted power supply as the two top priorities of his government. The President was speaking during a press conference held at Fajara as part of his week-long engagement with the media, meant to build trust and confidence between his government and the media. Mamadou Diallo has more in this report.
The President has dedicated this whole week to the media in fulfillment of his campaign promise, deep in engagement with journalists as he recognizes them as important stakeholders in the democratic process. Yesterday, President Adama Barrow held one-on-one interviews with several journalists from different media organizations, and this morning followed it up with a press conference. Earlier, the Minister of Information and Communication Infrastructure, Demba Ali Jao, launched the State House newsletter and website, which are all part of the new government strategy to reach out to the public and promote transparency at the country's highest office. The press conference covered all subjects ranging from the economy to domestic and international issues, and gave President Barrow the opportunity to shed light on these issues of public importance. Mr. Barrow spoke of the numerous challenges facing the country, but underlined his desire to tackle these challenges, citing the economy and provision of electricity as top priorities.
I think our priority number one is the economy. Everything is built on the economy. We are working very hard to stabilize the economy. Electricity and power is top in our priority. We believe that we cannot develop as a nation if we don't have power. We cannot develop as a nation. Even investors, they look at your capacity before investing.
The President also spoke about the contentious issue of constitutional reforms, which have recently generated a lot of debate.
We promised the Gambian people that we will limit the term of presidents to 2 terms. And we are committed to that. That will not change. In our constitutional reform, we will see 2-term limit. Because we believe that if the term is limited, that will help in improving our democracy. That is something that we are serious with, and we will not compromise that as far as I remain the head of state.
Answering the question on Senegal, the President acknowledged the crucial role of the Senegalese intervention under the auspices of ECOWAS in resolving the Gambia's political crisis, but insisted that he favors strong partnership and cooperation between the two neighbors based on equality and mutual respect.
I think Senegal and the Gambia are the same country. Our official language is different, but we are the same people. The relationship was bad during the former government. As we came to power, 2016 December, we revived that relationship. To cement the relationship, to make it stronger. We will all benefit from the relationship. I think there is mutual respect between Gambia and Senegal.
The President used the media engagement to underline his commitment to a free and vibrant media and the independence of the judiciary. These two, he added, remain the cornerstone of his government and will be insulated against any form of political interference. This is the second such press conference the President has had with the media, and comes at a time when the President is seeking to not only reach out to the public, but also build trust and confidence with members of the Fourth Estate. Just some 6 months ago, this would have been unthinkable, but it shows how far the country has come. The President has said that this will be a biannual event which will be attended by members of all the media fraternity in the Gambia. Mamadou Diallo, GRTS News.
You can watch highlights of the President's press briefing tonight, immediately after this newscast. The Women Affairs Minister and Overseer of the Vice Presidency today received the United Nations Mission on Mainstreaming Acceleration and Policy Supports for the SDGs shortly after a closed-door meeting with the Presidency. Rosemary Kalapural spoke to waiting journalists about their mission. Here is an excerpt.
National priorities and national plan is aligned with regional frameworks as well as the global framework known as the Sustainable Development Goals. One of the wonderful things about the SDGs is that they are one integrated package. It's about seeing the 17 goals as integrated and indivisible. Because if you look at the goals related to people's lives and well-being, you also have to consider the environment and you have to consider economic aspects. So what we're trying to do is look systematically at the interlinkages across the economic, environmental and social pillars, and particularly for the Gambia to really emphasize the links to peace and governance as well. The Gambia has just begun this journey along with the global community of nations. And I think what is really critical is that your government has taken the leadership, and by this democratic transition and the amazing national development plan that has just been unveiled, it has leveraged a huge amount of goodwill from regional and international partners, which will be an incredible asset for this purpose.
The National Assembly Wednesday endorsed over $30.8 million loan agreement between the government of the Gambia and the International Development Association. The bill was tabled before deputies by the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, Honorable Amadou Sane. Murubajan reports.
Tabling the matter before deputies, the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, Amadou Sane, stated that the financing agreement is significant in boosting economic growth.
The credit and grant financing instrument was signed with the International Development Association on 11 July 2017 for $30,800,000 US and $25,200,000 US respectively. In this fragile situation, the World Bank has leaned forward to support the government and help build the conditions for a turnaround.
Minister Sane went on that the concerned agreement seeks to mitigate some of the challenges of state-owned enterprises as well as enhance the procurement of medicine.
The operation starts by addressing fiscal risks stemming from state-owned enterprises by limiting contingent liabilities and promoting enhanced transparency and financial viability. It also supports fiscal efficiency in the procurement of essential medicines and seek to avoid shortages in critical drugs at health centers.
Parliamentarians including Bileji Tunkara of Kantora and Usman Sila of Banjul South were appreciative of the endeavor, which they envisage to be instrumental.
If government happen to come with these measures or this kind of law, is a very good initiative. And I think this will at least end the issue of a woman happen to lose her life because there is no blood bank in the hospital.
In giving a green light to the financial agreement, Serekunda parliamentarian Halifa Saleh suggested mechanisms for effective debt utility, while others such as the representative for Fonyi Bondali Kadi Kamara appealed for better health service delivery.
What I would suggest is that there should be a very strong, very robust debt management.
Which they envisage to be instrumental.
If government happen to come with these measures or this kind of law, is a very good initiative. And I think this will at least end the issue of a woman happen to lose her life because there is no blood bank in the hospital.
In giving a green light to the financial agreement, Serekunda parliamentarian Halifa Saleh suggested mechanisms for effective debt utility, while others such as the representative for Fonyi Bondali Kadi Kamara appealed for better health service delivery.
What I would suggest is that there should be a very strong, very robust debt management.
was introduced as part of the ECOWAS drive towards a more harmonized tax system for regional integration. The government has no intention of eradicating this VAT immediately.
The question and answer engagement went on, and others, among them nominated member Yakumba Jaite, sought answers on government stance regarding public-private partnerships.
To ask the Honourable Minister if the government is thinking about partial privatization of state-owned enterprise.
The government's doors are open. I must say we have so many investors expressing interest.
Maudou Baja reporting for GRTS News.
Senegal's Chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant General Cheikh Gueye, has concluded a 3-day working visit to the Gambia on a very promising note that both countries will continue to work together in the area of defense and security. Samuel Barr tells us more.
Lieutenant General Cheikh Gueye, the Senegalese Army Chief, has concluded a 3-day trip to Banjul with a visit to the Yundum Barracks.
Welcome to 1st Infantry Battalion.
The visit, according to the Senegalese top military officer, is premised on further strengthening bilateral military cooperation and to discuss issues of common interest. The Yundum Barracks is one of GAF's biggest camps in the country and also houses the greatest chunk of personnel of the armed force. According to the commanding officer at Yundum, Lieutenant Colonel Babukar Sanyang, CDS Gueye's visit demonstrates efforts by both countries to boost defense cooperation. He also gave a brief rundown of their activities and operations.
GAF camp is a support element. It is really that accommodates the support element. We are making this use of the training. That provides all kinds of training for the troops. We are also looking forward for that training to be activated.
Lieutenant General Gueye commended officials of Yundum Barrack for their stance on security and, more importantly, for GAF's collaboration with the economic mission in the Gambia. He argued that military collaborations are a vital tool in enhancing sub-regional security.
We need to join together in order to face this security challenge in our sub-region, to the region, and we have to work together in order to make peace in the world. And that is legal war in Gambia, and we see yes, to discuss what we can take from you, and there are a lot of things we have been doing from Gambia.
We had very, very good interactions, and we discussed a range of issues on peacekeeping, on how to maintain peace and security in the sub-region, but also how to share our resources, how to exchange our visits, how can we make use of the resources that we have in both countries. We have all identified our needs and our challenges, and then how can we collectively address those needs and challenges for the advancement of the two armed forces.
The two army chiefs were also led to the fields of the Yundum Barracks for an arms demonstration and special military display. The Senegalese army chief is due to leave Banjul on Thursday after fruitful discussions with his counterparts to continue pushing for a closer Banjul-Dakar ties, with dates back many decades ago. Samuel Bach, GRTS.
As more farmers in rural Gambia now focus more on cashew production, GRTS Development Caravan met villagers of a small community in the Lower Nyomi, popular for its big cashew farms. Located a few miles from Esau in the North Bank region, Mendikunda is described as the home of cashew business in the region. Abdulaisi reports.
This is Mendikunda, one of the smallest communities in Lower Nyomi. It is famous for its vast cashew farms. With just about 15 compounds, Mendikunda boasts of perhaps the biggest cashew farms in North Bank region.
These cashew farms are here for a while or a long period of time, because I met this cashew here. These cashews were here. People used to grow it and have a good product on it. And this helps us also in other family uses or needs.
Residents of Mendekunda are not new investors in the cashew business. For decades, this community has been cultivating cashew. For them, these big farms are not just for business or means of survival. They are part of their culture. At the peak of the cashew season, scores of young people from satellite communities converge on the village looking for jobs.
We do hire people from various places or within your family just to come and help you to harvest the cashew. They pick for you 2 days. The third one is their own.
That is what this small community offers. The giant cashew trees envelop the village, serving as windbreakers and providing rare serenity, even in the most humid conditions. But managing these vast orchards with little resources is one of the biggest challenges confronting this community.
We do have many thieves here, and to control them is not easy. They follow the products. Even where you store it, it's always a problem for us. Sometimes we used to store them inside our pallets. Sometimes you cannot just understand.
And there is another problem. Mendekunda now lacks the land to cultivate staples such as rice and coops, and that is because almost the entire land is covered in thick forests of cashew trees. Abdullah C, GRTS.
The manager, National Eye Health Program, says the provision of nationwide coverage on eye care services has drastically reduced cataract blindness in the Gambia. Sergio Keba Kanye made these remarks during an exclusive interview with GRTS. Suma Jadama reports.
Cataract blindness, according to health experts, can be treated with a straightforward 20-minute operation, yet the disease continues to cause half of the world's blindness. Sergio Keba Kanye is the manager, National Eye Health Program.
Since the establishment of the National Eye Health Program in 1986, the country has conducted 2 successful surveys, and there was another countrywide survey in 1986 and also a repeated survey in 1996. We were able to identify our problems, and based on our problems, through the support of our partners, which is Sightsavers International, we came out with a strategy that is looking at 3 main components. One, ensuring that we provide cost-effective eye care services at all levels, both primary, secondary, and tertiary level.
The dispensation of quality eye care services, Kanye added, has significantly reduced the country's cataract blindness prevalence rate.
2, capacity building, human resources development, training eye care personnel at all levels, starting from the community, coming down to the primary level where we train community ophthalmic nurses. We come to the secondary level where we train senior ophthalmic medical assistants called cataract surgeons, and also at the tertiary level we train cataract surgeons. The third component is infrastructure. You can see in the country, in almost all the 7 health regions, we have established eye units in all the regions, and these eye units are built in the district hospitals and also general hospitals across the country.
Kanye said government's collaborative commitment with stakeholders have boosted the country to attain the increased cataract surgical rate target set by the international community as an indication of good service coverage.
I can say Gambia is on course, and that's why we are assisting other countries to support them also strengthen their eye health services, not only in the West Africa, but across the region.
According to Kanye, over 3,000 patients are seen annually countrywide by officials of the National Eye Health Centers across the country. He enjoined patients to report suspected cases of cataract to the nearest eye care center nationwide in order to prevent permanent damage. Suma Jarama reporting for GRTS.
Engineering and other related jobs with regards to technology are mostly regarded as male-dominated jobs and a no-go area for women. Though there are few that have made breakthroughs, the gap is still visible. The case is different in one Chinese city where women remain highly engaged in manufacturing. Rohibite went to Fujian province and she reports.
Women employees are an asset, not a burden, words of the Vice President of the Zansu Eastern Technology Group, a Chinese company specialized in the research, manufacture, and sale of measure and test instruments in Zansu City of Fujian Province. the host of the upcoming BRICS Summit in September. The company has 900 staff, 80% of them female, the majority of whom are engaged in research and the manufacture of high-tech measure and test instruments. In Africa, particularly the Gambia, such jobs are usually male-dominated, but here women are taking the lead. A remarkable development that schoolgirls can learn from and embrace the sciences to change the narrative in our country. According to Mr. Wu, the Vice President of Eastern Technology Group, women are more effective in manufacturing as they are very careful with details. Women in his company enjoy equal pay with their male counterparts. In a separate visit to Hehua Technology Company, a leading high-end UPS supplier in China, women were also key in the production line. The story of the female workers in these two high-tech giant companies is an important lesson for Gambia as it moves towards the path of development. Rohi Bise, reporting for GRTS News from Fujian Province, China.
We will be back with the sports news right after this break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. The revolutionary decisions made at the African Football Symposium and CAF Congress in Rabat have ensured that the way in which football on the continent is run will change after 29 years. The expansion of the Africa Cup of Nations and its revised dates are some of the developments which have emerged from Morocco, including an added incentive at inter-club level. CGTN Sias de Plessis takes a look.
The South African Football Association is deliberating how the decisive changes to continental football would play a part in the South African football landscape. One of the changes will see 4 South African teams feature in the CAF Champions League instead of 2.
There is a new appreciation, both in the country and also in the CAF executive, for South African clubs' participation. And so South Africa stands along with a country like Egypt that has a tremendous history and achievement.
South Africa's chances of qualifying for the Africa Cup of Nations in 2019 have been given a boost with the expansion of the tournament to 24 teams. It means Stuart Baxter's men need only to finish second in their group to secure a place in Cameroon.
For 2019, the AFCON, that will now be having 24 teams, it means that in our group, we are top of the group together with Libya, that we're in a good space to qualify for AFCON as well.
The Rainbow Nation has successfully hosted global sporting events in the past, and although Jordan would not rule out South Africa hosting the expanded AFCON in the near future, he explained that a country will ideally need 6 stadiums to host the event on their own.
Egypt can do it, Morocco can do it, Nigeria can do it. There are teams on the African continent that can do it. I think also Angola can do it. But other countries will have to look at the co-hosting arrangement.
The changing of the guard has brought about a change in thinking and has got the federations across the continent dusting the cobwebs of their current administrations. The contentious issues currently plaguing the game, like age cheating, stadium safety and the congested calendar, are being addressed so that all the stakeholders in the beautiful game are finally all on side. CGTN, Soweto.
We'll take a second break. When we return, we take a look at the international news. Welcome back. The mountain gorilla, the world's most endangered ape, is found only in protected forests in Rwanda, Uganda and the Democratic Republic of Congo. In Rwanda, the gorillas have long been a big tourist attraction. Now, the Rwanda Development Board is seeking to make that experience a lot more exclusive.
The lush forests and misty volcanoes of northwestern Rwanda are home to mountain gorillas. This man and his family are lucky. They bought permits to see the endangered apes before Rwanda doubled the cost to $1,500 per person.
And that would be a draw for them. I think it's going to be like just for an elite for people that can pay that. As I said, if you to the fee, you have to think in hotels, airplanes, and so on. It's going to be a huge amount of money to get to Rwanda to see the gorillas.
The new rates are meant to boost conservation efforts while positioning the land of 1,000 hills as a luxury tourist destination.
So our strategy is to develop a high-end tourism market, because our tourism is very much based on natural resources, and we're very serious about conservation of our natural resources. And so when you go to see gorillas, it costs you $1,500. And the idea behind that is because it's an exclusive experience that also needs to be limited in terms of number, because you're conserving the natural resources.
The high-value, low-impact strategy has worked well for other countries.
For us, we expected that to be good, because if those customers will come, even now, we already started to receive those people who is rich, who are able to afford the prices. Now even the income has started to be good for us.
The remote, mountainous border area straddling Rwanda, the DRC and Uganda is the only place in the world where you can see gorillas in their natural habitat. Thanks to conservation efforts, the population has slowly increased, but there are still fewer than 1,000 of the giant apes in the wild. Permits to see the gorillas in the DRC and Uganda are far cheaper, but Rwandan officials aren't concerned, saying theirs is a unique experience. Vic Chege, CGTN.
A section of youths in Nigeria have staged a march to the country's parliament, demanding that lawmakers remove age barriers on political positions, including the presidency of the country. Nigeria's 1999 constitution stipulates that the president has to be at least 40, while national lawmakers and state governors have to be aged 35 or above. The youth want the ages lowered to allow them to vie for political offices. CGTN's Deji Batmus with more on that.
In the rain, wielding placards which clearly convey their message. The group, simply known as #NotTooYoungToRun, rallied at the gate of the Parliament building, demanding that the Constitution be amended to give young people a chance to contest for political positions in the country.
We have come to a point where we need to amend the sections of our Constitution dealing with age requirements, so young people, who are the largest bulk of our population, can participate. And when we say young people participate, we're looking at competent young people with credibility, with the moral capital as the competency required for leadership. And we do have those young people.
Nigeria has a fairly young population, with close to 60% of the country's voting population youth between 18 and 35. While the legal voting age is 18, the minimum age to run for a political office of the lowest cadre in the country is 25.
I don't see any reason why at 18, if you can vote, you should be able to be voted for. So the young people are in the majority. It's important that their voices are heard. It's important, let them make the mistake. If people make mistakes, they will learn from it, and they are the future of this country, and I see no reason why they shouldn't be given the opportunity to lead this country.
Lawmakers are listening to their voices. The Senate has voted overwhelmingly to amend the section of the Constitution dealing with age qualification in running for political offices. Senators are now proposing 35 as the required age to run for the highest office in the country. That for state governors will be 30, while that for the lower house of parliament and state parliament will be 25. But it's a long way to go before these matters can celebrate. The proposal would still need to be passed by 2/3 of state parliaments across the country before it can become law. It's back on CGTN, Lagos, Nigeria.
And before we take leave of you, a recap of today's main stories. President His Excellency Adama Barrow has outlined economic growth and energy among his government's key priority areas. Deputies have endorsed a $30 million loan agreement between the government of the Gambia and the International Development Association. Rwandan authorities have designed new measures to make the viewing of the endangered mountain gorilla an exclusive experience for visitors. And young people in Nigeria are demanding constitutional reforms to enable young people vie for the highest political office in the West African state. Well, that was all in this edition of the News at 10. Thanks for the pleasure of your company. Stay tuned to GRTS and enjoy the rest of our interesting programs.